I gotta remember to make highlights. I keep forgetting to click the button. Man, this reminds me of dubstep. Okay. I think we're gonna, let's see. We're gonna do some here. Do I have my phthalo green? No, I do not. Let me grab it. Phthalo green. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this too. Since this area is in shadow, I'm gonna be grabbing my little phthalo green over here. So, quick tip, anything that is in shadow, you are going to use cool colors, and anything that is in the light, it's going to be warm colors. So just kind of compare this yellow, which is like a lime green. It has a lot of yellow in it mixed in. And then this is very obvious when put together, right? This is going to be very, very like cool. So my shadow, my highlights, or anything that's really in the sun. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. This is a very rare moment that my cats are sleeping while I'm painting. I usually paint in the evenings, which is when they're wide awake. Let's see, is this a good size? Yeah, I like this size. This is a long handle #1 filbert brush, right? So because this is a much larger canvas, it's 16 by 20. You know, I don't want to like be super close, hunched over, trying to like paint. So that's what these long handle brushes are for. And yeah, a filbert is basically kind of like the shape of the brush. It's going to be a very kind of like oval, right? Almost like a fingernail, if you can imagine. It's very like U-shaped. But what it allows you to do is, you know, when you're dragging it like this, on the wider side, you can have broader strokes. But if you turn it like this vertically, you get nice thin lines. It's a very versatile brush. I absolutely adore filbert brushes. So right now I'm just gonna get started. So I did show you earlier my highlight and my shadow, but I always like to start in the middle with my midtone, because again, it just helps me establish all the values, right? So I'm actually using this color right here, which is a light green. And that way, since this is going to be the first pigment on my palette here, everything else has pretty much dried from the previous sessions. If I put too many at once, again, it being acrylic, they will dry within half an hour. So I try to use one pigment at a time as I start to fill in different areas of the canvas. Thank you for sharing. All right. So there are actually a lot of tiny like roads in this valley that I will have to carefully go and draw in. There's a lot of detail packed in. The reference photo that I have of the horse and the cat, I found a copyright-free image, and I just kind of, you know, I did a little bit of Photoshop because I just wanted a more interesting background for this painting. And let me tell you, I was between at least 8 different backgrounds. I really like to use the website Pexels, that's Pexels, for copyright-free images. You know, when you're trying to do things professionally, you do not want anyone, you know, coming after you because you decided to use a random photo off of Pinterest. And yeah, so basically I decided on this one because I really do like the leading lines, right, which is drawing the attention to our figures, the cat and the horse. So for that reason alone, I picked it. Client, you know, I suggested to them, well, you know, would you like me to do anything different? Because originally the picture was of the horse in the stable. And I thought it would be very beautiful to commemorate, right, to memorialize them in a much idyllic setting. And so I asked them, well, do you want the horse and the cat to be in a forest? Do you want them at a beach? Like, where would you like to see them, right? And we settled on kind of like a pasture of sorts. So one of my plans with this painting is I'm going to, right here on the mountainside, I'm gonna make this like a really lush, you know, vibrant, flowering area. So yeah, I'm hoping they like the background I picked. It might be a slightly different from, you know, a pure pasture sorts, but I think seeing how we live in Washington State, we do have a lot of mountains, so it's not unrealistic location to find the horse, I guess. Cat, maybe. Yeah, so see, right around this area we start to get into the shade. I am leaving the pine trees alone because it's going to be like really dark, and I don't want to lose my outline. So I have kind of like these blobs and pointy areas. Those are really just markers for me to keep track that, oh, these are pine trees, or like, you know, a whole bunch of them next to each other. Like here, there's a little area where it's not pine trees, so I'll just kind of paint that. Okay, so let's see, it's 1, 2, Okay, so right around here. Yeah, the beginning stages of a painting, you just kind of are blocking things in, right? You're keeping it loose. And then at the very end, you start to put in details. Something that, you know, novice painters do is that they immediately jump into rendering, which is just kind of, you know, adding way too many details too fast. And it's sort of like if you're drawing a face and you know, before finishing the entire face features, which is, you know, your eyes, your nose, your lips, ears, eyebrows, it would be the equivalent of like saying, oh, I'm gonna draw this eye, the left eye, like super super detailed when I haven't even figured out where my nose and lips are gonna be. So that's a very, very rookie mistake, because I think what happens is that we are so quick to want to rush to a finished product, right? We want to see our efforts pay off. I think it's a little bit of like a confidence issue. Maybe it could be a lack of patience, I don't know. But you know, there's a method to the madness. I'm not saying you can't start off, you know, in a corner of your drawing slash painting and like super super focus, right? Make it as rendered, as detailed as possible. But what may happen is you realize you make a mistake and now it's going to be near impossible to go back, because you'd have to erase something that maybe you spent a very 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 long time on. So in order to kind of lessen the pain, you know, just kind of keep things loose in the beginning and see where it takes you. You know, like well, I mean, I guess I could say the outline helps, right? I will say, you know, make sure your outline is really really good, because that's the guiding post for what everything else is gonna look like, right? I did kind of not do as much detailing here in the background, but only because, you know, yes, there's like a lot of like roads, and there's like rivers and stuff down here, and a bunch of trees, but it's gonna be in the background. So you don't want to take the where's my water spray? You don't want to take the star power from the focus of this painting, which in my case is going to be the horse and the cat, right? By going super 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 detailed with things that are not really the point, right? So the question is sort of like, you know, you look at your painting, you ask yourself, what is the thing that I want my audience, right, my viewers to focus on when they look at this painting? And immediately it's going to be what you should spend the most detail on, right? The most time rendering, fleshing out. Everything else has to be kind of out of focus. So if you take the analogy to photography, when you photograph, right, some things are going to be out of focus, right? The camera can't make everything in super high detail, or then nothing's, right, going to be detailed. So not everything is going to be rendered and super hyper realistic. So that's why I just kind of, you know, I kind of left this loose and stuff. As long as I have a general idea of like what it is I'm looking at, then that is going to be good for this stage. Right? Da, 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 da. Yeah, okay, so this is also green. Da, 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 da. Yes. And then there's like some green over here. So here's another little tip. Get yourself a little water bottle spray. It's really gonna help you guys when you're doing your acrylics. Spray it every like 10 minutes, you know, just kind of keep the paint wet. I know some people like to use those stay wet palettes, but I find that if you close them after about, you know, a day or two, they become mushy and they run. So again, it's just like, don't put as much paint onto your palette. And kind of, you know, you have to guesstimate, but don't use too much all at once, because it's a lot of wasted paint. It dries fast. Okay, so this area is also green. Da, 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 da. Green, 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 green. This is green. And this is green. And all this is going to be dark. I forgot to bring my shoes, my shoe booties, my cozy winter shoes, slippers. They look more like boots, to be honest. But I have a vent right next to my feet up here in my office, and it blasts constantly and it freezes my little toes. Aww. Yeah, this is kind of like a mix of some green, mostly dark green, but I'll put a little bit of the medium in here, just for good measure. Yeah, same thing over here is like a little bit. Okay. this is sort of like a greenish color. But I'm gonna have to go back with something a little darker. And then here's an interesting thing. When you are looking at objects that are far, far away from you, right? Let's say these mountain ranges in the back. There is a very interesting physics thing that happens, and that is known as atmospheric perspective. So when, you know, things are really far apart, they turn blue, right? So that's one way that you can kind of like show distance. Like, yeah, you can make things go smaller as they move away, right, into the background. And obviously my furthest point is going to be these mountain ranges, and you can kind of begin to tell that I've made them blue. These are also going to be blue, but more like a blue-gray with maybe some green in them. But yeah, that's atmospheric perspective. Things turn blue the further away from the viewer. And the opposite also holds true. How do you make something appear closer? You use warmer colors, right? Which again is one of the reasons I decided to make the underpainting, right, that very first layer, yellow, because it just kind of gives it this very warm vibrancy, because, you know, paint is not 100% opaque. It has transparency, especially if you water it down. And as you build up your layers, you'll start to see, you know, little tiny peaks here and there of that yellow. Okay, let's see. Okay. Gonna rinse my paintbrush. Rinse, rinse, rinse. And I just use like a regular black terry cloth to just, you know, once I switch my paintbrushes, I just wipe it off here. And you can always launder these. So I don't like to use paper towels. It's very wasteful. Ain't nobody got funds for that. Pew. Okay, so now we're going to use that nice deep green. And at the very top, I will probably do a light layer of the phthalo green. Let's see. Or, let's see. Maybe I'll actually do this one. I'm gonna do hooker's green. Still a little bit on the warm side, but I think I can kind of play with it by adding the cooler greens on top. Oh, there goes the top. Oh my god, this cap. BRB. Gotta grab a little bit of extra water. Okay, I got my water. I have to turn on my little space heater. My toes are getting chilly. I can already tell I'm gonna have to give this quite a few layers. Yeah, this green is super transparent. What is up with this? I'm not too happy about that. Yeah, this is super, very, very, very not opaque. I mean, it's fine, but you know, you want to be able to establish the values, and this is gonna just take a little bit longer than I anticipated. But it's okay. Oops. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is my sort of second pass. Again, just trying to darken this area. Might give it some texture, you know? I'm excited about what I'm gonna figure out for the background. Little tweeze, little tweeze. Tweeze, tweeze. And see, these are also like pines. Oh, it's gonna need another layer. Oh, see, there was one here and I forgot to paint it. More pines over here. Keep it nice and loose. Okay, I am almost done with this green. At least on this side. I might need more for the other side over here. Okay. This area is just dark in general. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think I can start adding some of the highlights then on the grass. Let's give this a try by itself. I feel like it's a little too white. Maybe if I mix it with the mid-tone. Promising. Okay, let's give this a try now. It needs to be a lot more yellow. Okay, I'm gonna go get my yellow. I'm getting a, oops, where is my camera? A cadmium yellow light. Yeah, not quite. I will use it for now, but I'm gonna have to do another layer on this. It's still reading way too cool. Let's see, what happens if I just... Ooh. I like that. Oh yes, maybe this will do. Just adding the yellow directly on top and mixing. I feel like I could even do with... okay. Very nice, very nice. Such pretty colors. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you. Hi, Krista. What's up?
Hey, Asta.
I'm glad you were able to catch me. Oh, let's see. Maybe a little bit over here.
I like the colors.
Thank you. I am, let me show you my reference. Yeah. So right now it's, ooh, where is it? Over here. It's a lot warmer. So I'm kind of just using a basic green. And then as I get little by little where I need to get going, I start adding yellow on top and making it warmer. But yeah, I'm just blocking in as much as I can, and then I'll start detailing the furthest away from me, which is going to be the sky. And then so I'll get that.
That's
like
really cool.
Thank you. So I'll add as much detail as I possibly can, because like, you know, for example, as I was doing like the midground, the horse and the cat are like in the front. So if you don't do from back to front, it's just gonna be like, oh, like you're gonna end up going over your main figures, and it's just, ugh. At least that's how I do it anyway. Just to kind of avoid accidentally covering things that, I shouldn't cover. But in the meantime, I just kind of like to block everything in to get an idea of my values. And now, once I have all of this like extra yellow out of the way, I'm gonna start right here. Any tips for clouds? I don't like clouds. They're too soft. And it's just hard for me to like paint them.
I am liking how they're looking for real.
Thanks. I think this is maybe like how long have I been? Okay, we're getting close to 5 hours in. I'm estimating, fingers crossed, this is gonna take me at least 30 hours to finish. Just have a feeling. It's a 16 by 20 inch, so it's pretty big. Yeah, so see, I go in now with yellow and I start to like warm it up a little. Let me spray my palette before everything starts drying on me. My husband already requested another painting for Christmas. So I'll be doing Pokemon next. Yep. If I keep going with his requests, I might be selling at Comic-Con one of these days.
That's great.
So the idea for the next painting that he wants is he wants all like fire Pokemon in, I don't know, some kind of like desert. So, it's gonna have your Charmander, your Magmar, I don't know, different fire Pokemon. And it's gonna be a series that is going to be...
Can we sell prints of other franchises? I am wondering this myself.
You want the real answer or the legal answer? Which one do you want? I think my husband just got home, actually. I hear the trash cans. Unless it's raccoons. Well, to answer your question, you can, especially within what you call like a convention, okay? But the thing is, there's really, it's
I
like
am thinking yes, but you can't call it that.
you can, but like again, like where is the camera? Quotation marks. You can sell at a Comic-Con or different conventions, and a lot of artists, that's how they make their bread and butter. There is sort of like a risk that, let's say like Nintendo, right? They own Pokemon. If I start going to Comic-Con and I start selling, you know, this IP, then they sometimes, especially the big conventions like the one in San Fran, they will send representatives to different booths. And if you are making enough money, or if you have gotten popular enough, you know, doing fan art, etc., they will shut your booth down, and then they will ask you to pay them whatever you made at that convention. So not only would you be out of table money, right? The money to print all of the stuff, and the flight, because, you know, unless you live in the city where the convention is taking place, so you would be out easily thousands and thousands of dollars. And then the problem is that they now know you, they can look you up, and if you happen to have an online shop, then right there goes your entire livelihood. And that's just the nice part, they could sue you, right? So that's why I don't want to do like fan art. Like, I don't want to be known as a fan artist. It is a huge risk. You can do it for fun, like on social media, but if that's your bread and butter, and there are people that is their bread and butter, like they're known as the Pokemon fan artists, they are, you know, My Little Pony, whatever, any popular, right? And it's, the thing is, like, it's lucrative because, you know, fans.
Yes, risky.
Yeah, it's risky, but fans, they're looking for things that are obviously, you know, handmade, right? So there is money to be made, but unless you are an official merchandise person, it's just not a good idea. My recommendation is, you know, online, absolutely not. Especially places like Etsy. They will, like, you can't even write the listing. You can't even write Pokemon, and they'll take it down, right? It's just a matter of time. So like, people have to get creative with like how they name their fan art so it doesn't get flagged. Because I think you're doing like Zelda art. You thought about selling it, eh?
Yes, and someone wanted a print of my Mona Jackson.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say no. But, you know, I gotta get creative. I'm being puzzled. The puzzle has shown up. Oh no. I did not pass the puzzle. Hold up. I gotta do surgery.
It's probably a no-no.
Okay, I did my puzzle. I mean, I don't know, there's there's a lot of ways you can send money, right? But the thing is, like, you can't, you know. I think, for example, PayPal even has rules that you can't send anything like lewd. So if you're like an erotic artist, just to give you an example, like you could not accept PayPal payments. Like if PayPal got wind that you were doing like erotica or whatever, they would shut down your PayPal access. So that's why a lot of people they they look around different platforms like Patreon, etc. Because yeah. Now, mind you, there are some like IPs that they're cool with it. So you might want to do your research. I just know for a fact Nintendo is very, very sue happy in the same way Disney is. So those are like two companies that I would not mess with. But outside of those, well, you just kind of sometimes you can reach out to the creator and ask them.
Ooh.
Yeah. And of course, those are very popular, Disney is super popular. But definitely reach out, You'd be surprised. Some IPs see it as like free advertisement. I'm gonna have to come back and make this even yellower. Well, we're getting there. Yeah, same over here. I gotta do this yellowy. I'm so happy I got this like new easel. I'm finally able to do bigger canvases. I was using a tabletop easel and it was really uncomfortable. Okay. I can probably darken this now. So with acrylic, I'm just doing a bajillion layers.
I have to head out. Glad to catch you.
Same. Talk to you later. Hello, darling.
Hello, I'm back.
How was the game?
We won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so. We got another game to go to.
Huh?
We got another game to go to.
No.
Oh, we won.
Oh, yeah. So when is the finals?
Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yep.
Are you on the roster? No, right? Huh?
Probably.
Oh, you kidding? Because all of you have to go for the final?
Most likely.
Oh, no. This is dumb. I do not approve.
Come on, Alex.
Hmm.
Not the blocking. So you're gonna start adding.
Well, I'm trying to get all the all of this Mostly I just focused on this little corner. And but yeah, once all my colors have been blocked in, I'll start detailing, starting with the sky.
That's exciting.
Oh, I was gonna quit soon, just so you know.
Oh, not there something.
Oh. Can you make me tea?
Oh, I got that, okay? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna catch a break.
Okay. I hear you, my love. It's just, you know, I can't really like walk away from here. It's rough.
It was a great game, though. 4-2.
Oh yeah, you told me it was like neck and
the
neck.
squad we played against is ranked higher than us. So we beat them.
Oh, because it's in the entire state?
Oh,
It was like a state.
well, Oregon is kind of weird.
Mm.
In that the districts play within like districts and like adjacent spaces. So it's not like a real like state competition like it is in Florida.
Okay.
Because in Florida we do have proper like state finals, you know. But here is divided by, you know, we're in a map area and then there are like 6 different finals. Which then you guys master?
I had cookies.
Cookies not full. Had cookies?
I had cookies. Delicious. Delicious.
I'm sure the bichitos are like, yeah, cookies.
Oh, the baby arrived. He was sleeping in the TV.
He came to the time.
I know. Riley's sleeping in his apartment.
Yeah, I saw him over.
Did he go, meow?
No, he didn't say anything.
Got knocked out. Do you want to watch anime or play games?
No, I'm gonna just play one round of this. I wanna eat and watch anime with you.
I think I might have 0. Mean alien kitty cat. That's an interesting username. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone just popped in. When I finish this last bit of grain, I'm walking downstairs. Michi, what are you doing down there, Michi? Michi, what are you looking at me for?
Again. Not too sure.
Yeah, he's trying to extort me.
Funding. Possible. Million.
Okay, I'm calling it quits. Well, maybe I can finish this real quick with yellow. Texture. I leave it there for today. Just cleaning my brushes.
Brushy.
Brushy. Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone who checked in and gave gifts and tapped the screen. Every little bit helps the algorithm. And yeah.
Feed the machine.
Feed the machine. Yeah, so catch me next time as I continue to finish this pet memorial. This is already part 5, and there will be probably a lot more to come. Alrighty, till next time. Bye!